See, yeah, I've heard. Nonku's told me stories. Why did you feel the need to go to my husband behind my back when he was standing on the side and mention how single you are and maybe he can find you a rich man like him?
I've never.
And maybe he can take you for a tattoo.
Call your husband,
Nonku was with you. Do not get my husband involved.
Why would I want him to hook me up? Because I'm certain he doesn't know anyone that I would like.
I hate a liar.
Do you know what is the most interesting part of this episode 2 of Real Housewives of Durban season 3? No, I bet you don't know what is the most interesting part for me. But I'll be giving you the juicy story about all that happened in this season 3, from Nonku and Annie's drama, Jojo and Slee fight, Sorisha and Maria silent beef, and a lot more. And there's this chef. Okay, Londie made an appearance too on this episode. And there's this chef that attended Sorisha's event that made the party scatter. Like when you hear party scatter, that what really happened. She was not there to preach peace. She was there for violence. Like, this woman was just scattering everything, and it actually made the episode 2 a wonderful one. Yes, so just stay back as I analyze and discuss everything that happened in this episode 2 of the Real Housewives of Durban season 3, and I'm so sure you're going to enjoy it. So just stay back. So please just subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I'll always do justice to stories like this, reality TV shows content among others. So it will be a nice one to subscribe to, and I will always do justice to things like this. And we all know that Real Housewives of Abuja, Nairobi is also coming, and she can always come around for the gist and for the stories. So let us start with what really happened this episode. I don't want this video to be very long, so I'll be very, very fast with my opinion and my narration of everything that happened in episode 2. So the very first thing we had was the what's her name, Jojo's soiree. So they started back from that same event, and this was where Annie actually had conversation with Jojo about what she's been passing through with her eyes. So I realized that Jojo actually Annie has like an eye issue, which she look kind of funny when she's looking. And I guess for the other season, people actually noticed that, and she had been body shamed for that, which is not a good one. Body shaming is not something we should really, really encourage. So coming to this, okay, I want to say something aside from the story. I realized that Annie had come this season to actually correct her wrong. I don't know how long she can keep up with this, but for so far with this episode 1 and episode 2, I think she's trying to do better than who she had projected herself to be in the very first 2 episodes. Like, Annie had been this mean girl, and everybody see her for that, you get. So now she's back to this season and trying to show factors that made her become this person she had been, and I think she's just trying to correct her wrong. Yeah, so she opening up and telling Jojo about her experience as a child growing up in the UK with bullying, and that has been the reason why she had become so defensive, and she seems to be mean wherever that's not who she really is. And the eye issue, and how she needs medical attention for it and the rest. So they had a conversation, and it was like very, very funny. Will I say funny, or will I say it was like very sympathetic to see Annie in such a vulnerable situation. It was, I won't say it was funny, but it was just something I never expected. Like, Annie is defensive. Annie will never just be like that. So I just wish she was just here to correct her wrong. So after that, we had the very next thing we had is Nonku and Annie issues. Okay, so they discuss about Nonku, and Jojo seems to be loyal to Nonku, and so she did not want to disclose to Annie what she did not want to disclose to Annie was her name Nonku had said, you get. So she wants Nonku to do the conversation, to actually do justice to that by herself. So they actually push that aside, and they did not have conversation. So we brought to Nonku meeting this mystery man. So she actually went on a date with this man, and she and this man are of different pages. What do I mean by of different pages? I don't really understand, because they always say opposites attract, or something like that, where people are of opposite ideologies, we always love to be together, rather than having someone who is of your ideology. So Nonku had asked him if he had other women he's saying, and this man seems to be a play man because he's saying yes, he had other people, and Nonku was like, who are these people? Who are these people you're seeing? Like, oh, it's just you. So I don't know. For me, I don't know what that man is up to, Sha. But we just continue watching and see what it's going to be like. So it seems as if Nonku is ready to probably get herself a man. Yeah. So then she actually opened up to him about how she cannot cook. And this man was asking that okay, if they will have to work with a chef that will be cooking for them in the house, will Lee be making the chef the second wife? Like seriously? Oh my god. So we don't know. So that's that for that. And that was the end of that dinner. And the next this thing we are brought to Maria. So Maria now actually had conversation with this man which she called God's band, and she was like, if he had not been her husband, if he had not been her God's band, he would have been her husband. So he actually had this conversation about okay, Maria had a very beautiful house, and I think she had this beach view, which I really, really love. Yeah. So she had this conversation about the event, and she was there saying Sorisha was being bossy, she was being the mother of the event, she shouldn't have brought that conversation to the table. Fine, Sorisha should have not brought that conversation to the table. But I'm so sure if Sorisha had not had to bring that conversation to the table, if probably when the show starts, that's when Annie, who must have seen herself as friend to Sorisha, is coming to see Sorisha in that conversation and she never knew about it. She might feel betrayed. She might feel like, oh, Sorisha is not really a good friend to me. So I understand that Sorisha had to just bring it up. Like, okay, just put it since like when Nonku was having that conversation with them, she was like saying she's going to have this conversation with Annie, she's going to have it with Annie, she's not scared. But now, just do that. And Sorisha expected that that conversation should have happened before the princess soiree. So having to bring it up to the table was just like putting Nonku in the spot that she just had to have a conversation with Annie. I feel that's why Sorisha did that. Okay, so now justifying why she had done that on the table, I think it was that table that bound both Annie and Nonku. Aside that table, I don't think they will be in any table that they will have that Sorisha will be opportune to do justice to that. So I think it's justifiable that Sorisha did that on that table. So Maria was now like judging Sorisha that she's being bossy, blah blah blah, and the friend asked her if she feels like Sorisha feels threatened by Maria coming to the show and having another Indian woman on the show. Though does Maria feel threatened? That's the question we need to ask. I don't know because Maria had not really. I said Maria Sorisha because Sorisha had not really talked about Maria, but Maria feels like anybody should feel threatening. Everybody's a queen, blah blah blah. But yeah, I feel like Maria is for me. It's just an opinion. I just feel Maria really, 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 really feel she is like the queen. Like she can always run things around. But I feel I know it's nice that she's coming up with a show like being hot and cool, but she have to just tread carefully. If not, yeah, because Sorisha, for to an extent, Sorisha had not really kind of put her in any bad light. I think Sorisha is not even seen her. So why is she just on Sorisha matter? And I feel everybody will be all right last. So Maria should calm down, like calm down. Yeah, so that's that for Maria and Sorisha. So, and she also talked about how Sorisha did not invite her to her event. So then this one now kind of bring me to the situation why is Sorisha doing that? She should have invited Maria, but it's Sorisha's event. I don't know why she had chosen not to invite Maria. But we are looking forward to new episodes where we might see reason why Sorisha had decided not to invite Maria to her event. So after this scene we had this scene where Nonku and Mbali met. So Nonku and Mbali talked about a child loss and a lover. So Mbali said she had a younger a lover is a man who she's older than, and she also talked about how she lost her kids. I think one to I guess sickle cell because she said child is sickly, and the other one I guess probably before she even had the child, something like that. So she feels very bad and she cried about it. And I feel like people should just stop. I feel Nonku should have not asked her about that anymore. She knew how she was so emotional about it, and having to lose a child is something so bad. Like I don't even know this kind of situation mothers will be when the mothers are always in when they lose their children. So Nonku already knew about this. So why are you still bringing up this conversation? I feel like it should be conversation that Mbali herself should willingly have with Nonku, not Nonku asking her about it. But it is what it is. Nonku did that, and she also embraced Mbali, prayed for her, and it was a wonderful one to see them do. Then the next episode had Annie and her kids. They go for they went to an animal farm to just have fun, and that was that. And Annie still continued trying to project herself as a better person who is ready to stop being who she was. And then she had a conversation about her sister, about everything around her, about her eye issue and how she's ready. And her sister suggested that she should go for therapy, and that's actually very wonderful. I guess we'll have to see a better Annie. So please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as I always do justice to this. So let us continue. So we are brought to Sorisha's like the spa which she will be launching on the long run. She met with Annie and Slee, and during their meeting they had conversation about what Nonku had said at the very first episode about how Annie is insecure about her husband. So Annie and not Sorisha did not want to seem like okay, so you guys now feel justified about Sorisha putting Nonku in that situation, like tell Annie, you get, because now she had given Nonku that position to tell Annie what she had said before she herself is doing that, so she will not look like the I don't know what you guys call it, like the army, but like the person who just go around and give other people's story. Yes. So since Nonku is not doing that, so Sorisha decided to do that by herself, because I guess now she's trying to kind of feel like, okay, Annie is my friend and I have to be loyal to her. So they told Annie everything that Nonku said when they visited Nonku. And I guess, and she's kind of justified why she invited Slee, because Slee was a third party who was there when Nonku made this um conversation, when Nonku said this. So she feels justified now. And Slee had to be there so that she can actually say for a fact that yes, Nonku said this. And while this conversation was happening, then there is the meeting with Nonku, Mbali, Maria, and Jojo. So these same people are actually judging Sorisha, because they were like, Sorisha should have not brought that conversation to the table, and Maria just wants to penetrate into the ladies. So Mbali advised Nonku to actually confront them, to actually have a conversation with Annie and Sorisha, that she cannot always just shy away from it. She should just own up to whatsoever she had said. And that was that for that. So then the next big event was Nonku and Slee. Okay, before Sorisha's event. So Nonku and Slee met, and Nonku apologized to Slee about what she did, how she threw Slee under the bus, and she was like that. And I feel bad for no for Slee, because Nonku will always apologize, but that does not mean she will change. Or probably in the long run, we will realize that Nonku's loyalty is just to Jojo, and I guess she do not really see Slee. I get, but it's, if you know that's what you want to do, just pick a hustle and be pick a struggle. I mean, you understand? Just choose to be loyal to Jojo. Let everybody know that okay, this is the person you care about, her interest on the show, and not just and not coming around to apologize and you still do the same thing. So I do not really like how messy Nonku is this season. And one thing she does again is how she do this, and she always come to portray herself as the victim. Yeah, she does this a lot. She does this in season 2. She does this she did this in season 1 also. So that's that for that. And Slee accepted her apology. Then the last event was the Sorisha's event. So this Sorisha's event came with a lot of violence, like a lot of violence. So the housewives met, and this woman came, and she said she's a chef, and she introduced herself to the group, and she sat with them. So Slee and Annie took themselves aside to have conversation, and the woman, that's the chef, then she told Jojo and Nonku and Mbali that Slee called her a caterer, that she here to do the event, blah blah blah, that Slee looked down on her, that she's a private chef and not a caterer. Upon Slee coming back, Slee and Annie coming back to join the group, so they had this conversation about what Slee must have said. And Slee was like, no, she was really asking her that is she the caterer for this event. That does not mean she's looking down on her. Then Jojo, who had like reservation, or I don't know how to put it, for Slee because of what happened when they met initially in season one, because of the comments the Nonku told her about. So she was a bit defensive, and she kind of be like, okay, it seemed as if, okay, while Slee was trying to kind of justify herself or defend herself. So she was like, she will never look down on anybody. Then Jojo was like, no, you can't say you never look down on anybody, or you will never judge anybody because you judged me before meeting me. Jojo made this statement like, oh, Slee judged her even before Slee met her. Then she was like, no, I judge you based on what I find out about you. It was not like I'll just your appearance, I judge you about that. So the thing became messy at the point, and also Jojo brought the situation um what's her name, Slee asking her husband to hook her up. So Slee claimed she did not have a conversation, and Nonku actually was like, you know, you had a conversation. This is what I'm saying about Nonku being a messy person now. Nonku, you had this thing happened. You should have not go to Jojo and tell Jojo this and this and this. If Slee is a friend, that should have just ended. It's not everything you always go back to tell somebody, regardless of who they are. For me, I feel this thing would have not become this crazy if she had not, and if you had seen that what Slee had done is wrong, just correct her. And it ends within you guys, not you going back to tell Jojo and everything becomes messy. So while Slee and Jojo were having this issue, Slee claimed she never had this conversation and she was very, very mad. So she left the event. So Londie made her appearance to the show, and Jojo was excited to see Londie, and I guess we're very excited to see Londie on the show this season, because you know when they introduced the housewives, we did not see Londie, Lakonko, and Tobile. But now seeing Londie come, I think she'll just be like friends with the housewives, or she'll just make her appearance, probably 2 or 3 episodes, and that's all. So seeing her, it was actually wonderful. Then when she came, she was talking to Jojo about issue, I guess the story about her being kicked out by her husband and the rest. So this chef of a woman was not, so Jojo was like, okay, so she should tell her everything that happened. But what's the name? Londie was like, no, she will not have this, she cannot have this conversation because of this woman next to her. She do not know her. She's a stranger. Then the chef then when she was defensive and like everybody knew the story, everybody know you're broke, everybody know they collected the Lamborghini and the rest from you. So what are you hiding? This is brutal. This is brutal from this woman. This woman should have just should have respected her and let her have a conversation in peace. That was very, very disrespectful. And I feel very, very bad for Londie because that woman said a whole lot to her and it was not very, very nice. It was not at all. So that's that for the Real Housewives of Durban season 3, episode 2. And I'm so sure we're going to see more episodes. And I guess the next episode, what was the name? Nonku will be taking a man to appearance and the rest. So we just want to see more of this coming episode.